All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where we're going to follow up on some conversation that we've had about rumors out there about Errol Spence Jr. and what he's doing in preparation to fight Terrence Crawford in his rematch, and who he may be having train and who he may not be having train him. As rumors swirl that Errol and Derrick James are considering heading into that fight. But this, if it did happen, is something that would have been maybe foreshadowed by something that Derrick James had said previously. Maybe one of the issues could be two other issues, not issues, but two observations connected to it, whether or not they stay together or they do not stay together. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 147-pound division, where Errol Spence Jr. will be rematching Terrence Crawford, and there is word out there that there is a consideration going on in the camp of Errol Spence Jr. about whether or not he needs additional help to prepare for Terrence Crawford, and whether that means that he will be back Derrick James will be back in the saddle as a trainer. There was something that I wanted to bring up, because I did a video before that I didn't mention, about something that Derrick James has said previously. Also, some observations around the career and the progress of the career of Jermell Charlo, and how I think more than likely I suspect, it's not any inside information or anything like that, I suspect that they will continue to work together, and that more than likely there may be a tweak added to it. But before I get into that, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really, really does make a huge difference to the channel. And also, I'd like to thank any and everybody that is out there that supports in the super thanks of videos like this, and supports in the live streams that we do pretty much every day a week. It definitely goes a long way to be able to continue to do these videos. But let's get into this. This is not a subject matter that I really like to talk about. But hey, man, it's in the welterweight division. And if people don't really kind of get the things that I cover, I typically stay within the big kind of glamour division box divisions and the big fights that take place, because that's what a lot of people are interested in. That's what people ask me about. If you want to talk about some of the more the less publicized type of conversations going on, make sure you come by the live stream, ask the question. We talk about it all. But here you go, man, because it was really, I like very much Errol Spence Jr.'s team. And by say liking them, I mean, like, I actually like them as people. I've met everybody in this camp at one point in time or another. Just very, very nice people, honest people, hardworking people, just all around good people. But you know what the saying goes, that not everything, everything comes to an end, right? So there was speculation that Errol Spence Jr. had fired Derrick James as he exercised the rematch clause to fight Terrence Crawford again. I don't know if that's true. I don't think that it is true. However, there were some other people who put up videos, and people that I know that know people associated with the camp, said that, look, that is something that very well may happen, and there's some truth to that. It's definitely some truth to that matter, right? Now, this is something that I got to tell you, man, that I thought about before anything of this stuff had said. I thought about it, before the Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford fight had taken place. And that was, that when people would ask me, how can Derrick James train all of these fighters and Errol Spence Jr. at the same time? You have, when Errol and Terrence when Errol started with Derrick James, I think Errol was definitely his first professional fighter. And I think he really may have been the first amateur fighter that Derrick James worked with for a long period of time, right? That's just what I having listened to them and the conversations they talk about how they got together and having known, kind of how Derrick James and Errol Spence Jr. started working together, right? So they had started working together when he was 15, 16 years old, went through the amateurs together, into the professionals together. Once he got to the professional, Derrick James picked up Jermell Charlo. After he picked up Jermell Charlo, I think it was Sir Marcus Brown that he started working with. After Sir Marcus Brown, it was Anthony Joshua. After Anthony Joshua, he also added Ryan Garcia, right? So now you've got Derrick James went with a guy that was working with one guy, two guys, to a guy that's now working with six guys. So the thing that had come to people's mind, because they'd asked me about it, how do you think he's going to balance all that? I think it's going to be up to the discipline of Derrick James and being very systematic and making sure people are honoring time frames and all of that. But you can't overlook the fact that is going to add a lot of work to his plate, and that certain fighters at those levels may very well say that they want to have more of your attention, right? And going into a fight with Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, especially in the rematch, that it may necessarily be a scenario where it's going to take a lot of time and more time to prepare for that fight, more time even away from the gym, right? And then you had Derrick James at a point in time saying that when he gets done with all of the fighters that he's currently fighting now, then he's going to be retiring, and then he's going to be done with training, right? When he's done with the fighters that he has. And now, again, so you have a combination of things where, number one, Errol is no longer his number one guy, right, that he's training, because he's got a very big cash cow over there in not saying that he has any less concern for it, but he's not the only guy. Let me put it that way. He's not his only guy. He's got undisputed champion in Jermell Charlo. He's got a former 3-belt holder in Anthony Joshua, is a very big cash cow, one of the bigger names and big money earners in the sport of boxing. And he kind of has his eye towards the door, right? So then when you look at Jermell Charlo, you see Jermell Charlo, who has made a lot of improvements by bringing in a secondary trainer in Juan Guzman. And Juan Guzman has, from my understanding, has been very valuable, or at least Jermell Charlo believes he's been very valuable in his development as a fighter. So you have Jermell, who originally started with Ronnie Shields, who didn't feel as if Ronnie Shields was giving him enough of his time, because Ronnie Shields was working with Jermall Charlo and other fighters. And so he goes to a more dedicated fighter with a trainer with a smaller stable, if you will, in Derrick James. And then he brings on a third trainer in Juan Guzman. And also when you look at Errol Spence Jr., Errol Spence Jr. was also talking about heading into this trainer. He needs more. He was to do a lot of things for himself and wanted to expand his team as far as like the dietitian, which I don't know how that worked out, but it could have been just, that he just couldn't make the weight anymore. But anyway, I think, listening to what everybody said, that the most likely outcome of this is that Errol will add somebody to his camp. I think Errol is somebody that's a very loyal person. I think Derrick James is a loyal person as well. And those guys have been together for a very long time. At the same time, you had the same situation with Anthony Joshua and Rod McCracken, where Anthony Joshua had stayed with Rod McCracken, who was his amateur coach for a very long time, into the professionals. And then at a point in time said, hey, it's kind of time for us to do something else. So anyway, that's just food for thought. To tell you the truth, I just want what's for the best for both of those guys, either of those guys, and we'll see what takes place. But those are some things that were said and some observations that I think are kind of key to the question. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.